Vice-Chancellor, Lord Grabiner, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. It's truly an honour to be the recipient of an Honorary Doctorate here at the University of Law. As has been said a moment ago, I was at the precursor of the University of Law some 35 years ago. That ages me, I'm sure it ages some of you. As I look out on you, I don't just see the future of the legal profession, but the future of justice itself. You are the trailblazers. You are the problem solvers. You are the advocates who will shape society with everything that you do, with every argument that you make, and with every life that you touch. I've spent my career working for others, working for strangers, for people who I didn't realize required me to do my job and more. As has been said, I was born in Birmingham, just like Patrick a moment ago, a long time ago. I remember having a conversation with my father about role models when I wanted to be a lawyer, and he said, "Who are your role models?" And I couldn't think of any that looked like me. And I said to him, Atticus Finch, Nelson Mandela, and Mahatma Gandhi. And he said, "One's fictional, one was murdered, and the third is currently in prison." And I said, "Yes, Dad." The thing is that you were all role models. I didn't have any because we didn't think it was a career for us. When my parents came to the United Kingdom, they didn't think there'd be opportunities for them in the country from which they hailed. They wanted to be here to give me and my children and you the opportunities they wouldn't have anywhere else. And that's why it's so important that you grasp those opportunities and recognize that what you have now is a powerful tool, capable of creating equity, but also of perpetuating injustice if wielded without care or compassion. But as you take your next steps into the world, I encourage you to always remember that law is, above all else, a means to serve. It is service to truth, to fairness, and to the values that bind us together as a society. I next year celebrate 20 years of being on an Al-Qaeda hit list. 12 years ago, the far right tried to break into my house to kill me. So if I'm in the middle of both of those sides, perhaps I'm in the right place. But it recognizes and shows you that leadership itself carries a cost, and one that you must bear. And as you leave here, the newest stewards of the tool, the capacity to do more than just interpret and apply laws, you have the opportunity to shape them, to ensure that they reflect the diverse, dynamic world in which we live. Above all else, recognize that you have the opportunity to fight for those whose voices often go unheard, to challenge systems that have long been about or stood in the way of progress, and to restore dignity and equity to those who've been denied it. I got an email a couple of years ago via the University of Manchester, and it said, "Dear Mr. Afzal, you won't remember me. I was one of the victims of this high-profile sexual abuse case. I now have terminal cancer. I only have a few weeks to live, but I wanted you to know that because you believed me, my life began." I sent her an email back saying, because I didn't know how to respond. I sent her an email back saying, with my number, and we spoke. And she told me that for 30 years since the abuse had happened to her, she'd been blamed for everything that had happened to her life. She had been castigated by family and friends who either didn't believe her, or more importantly, if they did believe her, they blamed her for what had happened. It was only finally when she was able to get justice that she could begin her life. And here she was, at the end of her life, wanting to tell me that. A few weeks later, she passed away. And I went to her funeral. It's not something that was in my job description. And I'm at the funeral of somebody I'd never met, who was a name on a statement in a case. And I'm wondering why I'm there. And it's because she told me that I had changed her life for the better. I wanted her to know that she had changed my life for the better. It's people like her that have the courage to stand up to power that finally get the opportunity for us to deliver justice for those people. And as graduates of this institution, you carry not just the weight of your qualification, but the weight of an important legacy. You stand on the shoulders of those who fought tirelessly for civil rights, for justice, and for freedom. You are the new generation that will continue that work, and that work is far from over. The road ahead will not be easy. There will be moments when you question your ability, your resolve, or even the worth of your chosen path. In those moments, I urge you to remember the bigger picture, to remind yourselves of why you chose law or whatever qualification in the first place. Not for fame or fortune, but to make a difference, to protect the vulnerable, and to help shape a fairer and more just world. You have it all ahead of you, and I envy you with part of me. The rest of the time, I realize how difficult it is for you. But I will say one thing to you. Be bold. Be compassionate. And above all, the world needs you now more than ever. Thank you very much.